Hey there you guys, welcome back. Today we're going to do a little bit of a haul video. I haven't done a haul video in a while because I really haven't been doing any plant shopping. I really have enough plants. But just recently I had bought a couple of new things, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get things that are more sustainable in my house. Things that don't necessarily require super high humidity. That all went out the window because what I got is higher humidity, with the exception of this one. But I wanted to give them a try because they're really, really interesting and they were a really good price. So, but yeah, in general, I'm trying to get things that grow better in my environment. I have a habit of buying things that are unique and unusual and things that I don't see every day. But now, every trip to a garden center is that. Like, everything is so interesting, unique, and different from what I've seen before in the past. So everything is fair game, but not all of them grow well in my house. Like, for instance, not in the haul video, I have this Philodendron Soderoy that, I don't know whether you're able to see this, but if I take this plastic bag off for any length of time, the leaves crisp up. Actually, let's just take the bag off. So the leaves are quite pretty. They're small. It was just a stick at the beginning of the spring, and I decided to just put a Ziploc bag over top. There was no leaves on it. It was looking terrible. It would start to grow, and then it would crisp up, and then it would start to grow, and then it would crisp up. I put the bag over it to keep the humidity in, and it's just grown all kinds of babies. Like, I think I need to take these off because it's growing babies all along the, or side shoots. Babies is the wrong word, but side shoots off of the main stem. So I should take those off so it doesn't focus on all of those growths from the main root system, but rather have an individual plant for a root system. Anyway, I'm not making a lot of sense, but there's a lot of growth points growing on there. So if I want it to grow well, I should divide it up. Anyway, something like this I am not going to buy again, because if it's got to stay in its stupid plastic bag, I don't want it. Like, how are you going to enjoy this plant? But I'm gonna try. Like, I don't have terrible humidity in here either. It's generally it's between 50 and 60% humidity at any given time, and it wasn't enough for this silly plant. So yeah, I'm trying to get things that are better suited for my environment. I don't have low humidity. I don't have high humidity either. I have middle of the road, which should be good for many plants. So anyway, that being said, let's just get back into this video. So this one, if you saw my one of my recent yard tours, if it was a front yard tour, you probably know that I mentioned this little guy. And this is an agave. They just call it agave pinstripe. But in my little bit of research that I did, I believe it's a agave attenuata. I hope I'm saying that right. Or the foxtail agave. I'll put a photo here. It looks like the foxtail lily. The flower, the way that it comes up and it kind of swoops around. So it's really, really cool. It is a spineless agave, so it's very pliable. It's very young right now, so I don't expect as it gets bigger that they will stay being so pliable, but there's no issue about getting poked with this one. It's a lovely one. So this one is a pinstripe. I don't know whether it's coming in, but do you see the two-tone green variegation? There's like the limier color, and then there's a slightly darker band in there, and there's like streaks. It's super, super cool. I love it. I love the two-tone green variegations. I think that they're very muted and natural and just very intriguing to look at. They're quite pretty. So this is the first one. This agave is going to require higher light, but not as much as a typical hardened steel-like agave. If you're in a really hot tropical area, it probably would like a little bit of shade from midday sun. But all in all, in my climate, zone 6B in Canada, it can tolerate full sun. So anyway, there is the first one. I'm super excited. Maybe I'll go in depth on these at another date. But we'll just do the quick introduction in the haul. Next one was an impulse buy. I saw it and I'm like, well, that's different, and I love it. And it reminded me of the Alocasia Jacqueline, except for the Jacqueline has like a crocodile skin feel, like it's very rough and very thick. But the lobing of the leaf is very similar to the Jacqueline. Yeah, it kind of, if you look from afar, it kind of looks like is it a parlor palm? So it was very interesting to look at. So what is this one? Name that they have on this one is Alocasia Serpent's Tail. So there's a few different types of Alocasia Serpent's Tail. As always, common names are they mean nothing anymore because there's so many plants named the same thing. But I was doing a little bit of research on this one, and it is Alocasia, I'll put the name down below, Brancifolia, I think. Anyway, the name is going down below. So it looks like it can get to be like 1.2 meters tall. What is that? Maybe 4 feet tall, or 3.5 feet tall. So it's not going to get huge, but the leaves really are striking. I can't wait to see how this grows. I don't know if it's going to be a tough one to grow like a typical jewel style Alocasia, or whether it's going to be a tough hardy one like Macrorrhiza or an Odora or anything like that, the Patoria. But we'll find out. And look at this. The biggest downfall with this one, well, with many Alocasias, especially jewel types, is they like higher humidity. So this guy, I was looking, and it says it likes 70 to 90% humidity. So it's going to do terribly down here. I'm just hoping that it makes it through the winter and I can put it outside in the summertime and it will grow beautifully, because we have nice humid summers. But yeah, in the house, I'm going to try my best. But again, if it doesn't survive in my conditions, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to get a greenhouse or an IKEA cabinet to put all my stuff in, and then eventually they're just going to overgrow it and whatever. Anyway, I'm just going to try my best to make them work in my environment. I do have a humidifier, and hopefully that's enough. So another one that was an impulse buy, and I was saying to myself after my last one passed away, when it died, I was so sad. The reason why my last one died, this is a Calathea Sabrina. I hope that it's still a Calathea Sabrina. It's a Sabrina nonetheless. The tag here says Calathea Sabrina, was because it was 50% off. It was $7.99 and 50% off. So what's that? $4. I can't go wrong. My first one died because it was growing beautifully. It was upstairs on the coffee table, and it was putting on so much growth. It was doing amazing, and then I think it got so big and the pot just got small for it. The root system filled the pot, and I was having to water it, I think, every 2 or 3 days, or it would just collapse. It collapsed so many times that it just never recouped. So then it got spider mites, and then it just did terribly. So this one, I thought I'd give it a try again. Hopefully I had the same success, because I love these leaves. There's just this little bit of satiny feeling to the leaves. Maybe not satiny, but just a very, very slight fuzz, I think, is maybe a good word for it. But it looks like this one might have had some spider mites. You might see that there's a little bit of a distortion to the leaves, a little bit of graying out in there. So I did treat this. I did give it a spray with some rubbing alcohol and water, and then rinsed it off again not long after. I'm trying not to burn the leaves off. So yeah, we'll give this another try. I'm super excited about it. You can't go wrong with a beautiful Sabrina for $4. And this one here, the Alocasia, it was $14.99. Again, great price, and they gave it to me for 50% off. Everything that I got today was 50% off. So this one, the Sabrina, and the next one I'm going to show you, I just bought today, and yeah, they were all 50% off. So yeah, so this one's $15, so it was $7.50. I cannot go wrong for $7.50. And then the last one, but not least, this one is one that I saw maybe a month or two ago, and I thought it was very, very interesting. This one here, look at those beautiful leaves. I love that. Let's get my face out of there just in case it doesn't come into focus. Let's bring it in there. This is a Geogen Anthis. Let me get this right. Geogen Anthis Popegii. I hope I'm saying that right. Again, with all the names, they're going to go down below. So I do have a Geogen Anthis. Where is it? It's right behind my head. This one, I can't remember the second part of the name on this one. I just know it's Geogen Anthis. And it's very, very dark, and I was almost ready to throw it out. These guys are in the Tradescantia family. They're lower light requiring plants, but they do want a lot of light inside because the light inside is far different than the light outside. But when it went outside, it started growing beautifully near the end of the season. So I thought, oh, well, it came back. So I thought I'd give this a try. And if you notice, the leaves had a lot more, on this one, have a lot more definition, a lot more coloration, and I thought I loved that more. The other one is so dark, it's kind of muddled, it's beautiful, but it's not as pretty as this one. This one reminds me of a jewel orchid. And then this one was $20, 50% off, and so it made it $10. All the other ones that were 50% off kind of felt half dead. They weren't standing up in the soil very well. They were leaning over, and when I gave them a little bit of a tug, it was almost like they didn't have roots. So I got this one very, very luckily for 50% off, and I'm super excited to give it a try. Again, it's in the Tradescantia family, so it's going to require similar care. I believe that they don't require highlight, like a medium to bright and direct light. They like to dry down between waterings, but not completely dry, and water them thoroughly when you do water them. They have a very fleshy stem, like the Tradescantias, and they kind of creep along the soil, so they don't get very tall. You might get maybe 8 inches out of the height, but they will crawl along the soil surface. So hopefully these leaves stay a little bit smaller than the other Geogen Anthis I have. Let's put them side by side. Let's do this. Look at those. They're so beautiful. Let me get my face out of there. Which one do you like better, the dark one or the lighter one? So anyway, that is the haul video. Not a lot, thank goodness, because I already have a lot. Anyway, I've been bringing stuff inside. The grow room is filling up very, very quickly, and one day I will do a tour of this, maybe when everything's in. And yeah, until next time, you guys, happy growing. And let me know what interesting things you have found in the garden centers. You might not have bought them, but what is new and interesting that is drawing your attention these days? Anyway, until next time, happy growing.